Welcome to Dr. Durham's Musings. I'm Dr. Monique Durham, educator, researcher, and advocate, committed to examining the root causes of systemic iniquities that continue to shape our communities. It is an honor to share my insights with so many people who care so deeply about Baltimore, who don't just talk about change, but do the work every day in our neighborhoods, churches, community centers, and youth programs. I'm a former principal in Baltimore, and now the regional director of an educational curriculum company, the founder of Restorative Soul and the Principal's Muse. But most importantly, I'm someone who believes in the power of community to transform what happens in our schools. Because let's be real, schools don't exist in isolation. They are a part of the ecosystem of our communities. And when our schools struggle, it's not just an education problem. It's a community problem. And the solutions live in the community too. I'll never forget my first year as a principal in Baltimore. The community was coined a convergence of all things bad by the Baltimore Sun newspaper. It touted the highest rates of infant mortality, highest rates of cancer-causing deaths, and a higher than average crime rate. There was a deep pain in our community, a fracture in the village. Our students were burdened with the effects of experiencing trauma. Our teachers were burnt out, and our families felt disconnected. But I also saw so much beauty and potential. Our amazing scholars with such incredible curiosity. Families who just wanted someone to call them back and also acknowledged that they sent us their best and brightest. Teachers who gave their all in many ways and not just teaching. I also had the remarkable opportunity to see how much community mattered. The recreation center opened in our building. Local organizations showed up to help with the food pantry, donations, and even uniforms. Every night the school hit a breaking point, it was folks from the neighborhood who stepped up. That taught me, schools can't do the work alone. And principals, the folks trying to hold it all together, really can't do it alone. So let me break down a piece of the problem that also almost gets often overlooked: principal turnover. Nationally, 1 in 5 principals leaves their school each year. In Baltimore, that number is sometimes even higher, especially in our most under-resourced schools. When a principal leaves, it's not just a job vacancy. It's a disruption in culture, relationships, safety, and learning. Why do they leave? Because the job is incredibly demanding. Long hours, constant emergencies, pressure from the district, and they're often managing all of this without support. But here's what I want you to hear. Not all principals leave. Some stay, some keep showing up year after year for our kids. So I asked myself, what's the difference? What helps some leaders stay in the fight? And what role does the community play in that? Every job has its demands, the stress, the pressure, the workload. Every job needs resources, things that refill your cup, like support, relationships, and tools to do the work. Community can help a leader stay, then community is a part of the solution. So let's talk about the city we all love. Yes, Baltimore schools face real challenges: aging buildings, limited resources, unmet mental health needs, deep systemic inequity. But there's also something else here: resilience. Young people who turn pain into poetry. Educators who use their own money and educate to create magic. Families and community members who fight for their children's futures every single day. This city has brilliance. It just needs systems that stop dimming the light. And you, as a community-based organization, are already a part of that light. You may not work in a school building, but you have more power than you realize. Here's how. You can help transform education in Baltimore. 1, show up for principals. Check in with your neighborhood principal. Ask them what they need, not just for students, but for themselves. Sometimes they just need someone to listen. Sometimes they need space for rest, reflection, or help solving a real problem. 2, bridge the gap. Schools can feel isolated. You can help bridge that gap by bringing programs, resources, healing spaces, and joy into the building. Help create after-school programming or offer family supports. Collaborate on events that affirm students' identities and talents. 3rd, push for leadership support. Use your voice to advocate for more resources, not just for students, but for teachers and school leaders. Principals should have access to coaches, mental health support, and professional development that nourishes them. Partner, don't just provide. Don't just deliver services. Build relationships. Ask principals and school teams how to create something that fits their vision. And be flexible. Schools shift fast. Our support has to adapt too. 5, invest in healing and joy. Our schools carry trauma, generational and current. Partner with schools to create spaces of healing. Bring art, music, storytelling, yoga, and more into the school environment. I want to close with this. We cannot keep asking principals to pour from empty cups, and we cannot keep thinking that fixing schools is the district's job alone. Baltimore's schools are Baltimore's heartbeat, and we, all of us, are the pulse. You already do so much. Build trust. Create spaces where young people feel seen. Fight for justice. Now I invite you to link arms with school leaders to do this work side by side. Let's reimagine what it looks like when community isn't just adjacent to education, but at the center of it. Let's build schools where everyone, students, teachers, families, and principals can breathe, thrive, and belong. I challenge you.